Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the fastest growing sports gambling podcast in the tri-state area. We got AA Anthony Alessino. We got the graduate Brian Castiglione. And my name, as always, is James Hawkinjoss. And this is Parlay-Vous. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. It's season 2. It's been a long time since we've been here. We got Brian in studio with us today. He's going to be here regularly going forward. Guest member towards the end of last year, regular member going forward. Who we don't have today, even though it's season 2, even though we're in our third new studio, even though he's a young 28-year-old man in the prime of his life with a desk job, young Anthony Alessino has 2 herniated discs and he couldn't make the show today. So Godspeed. Hopefully he's better and back as soon as he can get in. But that's that. So a couple of things quick before we get into it. The last time that we were on this show, we were only available on Spotify and SoundCloud. No longer the case. You can get us on iHeartRadio. You can get us on... Why am I drawing a blank here? Spotify, obviously. That's the first one, though. What are... Apple Music we're new to this season. And there's one more that not even a lot of people use. It's a podcast. Most podcast platforms we're available on now. I forget the names of them all. Also, in addition, the video that we shoot is no longer going to be just for Instagram and TikTok clips. We're going to full podcasts on YouTube. We started that with the Rewind. So the YouTube channel is House of Havoc Podcasts. And that's where right? House of Havoc Podcasts?
Yeah. That sounds good. House of Havoc Podcasts.
I'm pretty sure that's the YouTube channel.
If you type in those keywords, you should find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's an octopus.
You
it's not hard to
Just
find.
research a little bit.
So for those who may prefer to watch video when it's given an option, that is now an option. So yeah, new studio, new setup, same people, same gambling problem. So before we get into the Jets and Giants, general stories that went on in the offseason, we're going to go right off the bat. Cam Newton cut today.
Yeah.
Cam Newton cut today by the New England Patriots. Mac Jones going to be quarterback number 1. I don't remember what week it was, but I do remember you were with us towards the end of the year last year before the playoffs. I came on this show and I dared Bill Belichick to draft Mac Jones. I fucking dared him. And Alessino said, why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
So why would you do it? Because you know he's going to show up and be Tom Brady 2.0. Looks good so far in the preseason.
Yes.
Won the job to the point where they don't need Cam Newton, allegedly. I mean, they were calling him the check down king in practice.
Yeah.
He's got a place in the league somewhere, no?
I think, yeah. I mean, the fact that they didn't even move him to 2, they just flat out cut him. I mean, I think that kind of says a lot. But I think you're right. I think he'll wind up on another team, maybe. I was thinking maybe the Texans.
Interesting.
Also, the main team I was thinking of as I was driving here was actually the Washington football team. Because, they have Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm sure, they'd let it run with him either way. But you got Ron Rivera there. You also have Curtis Samuel. I don't know how long them two played together.
Jack, try to get that.
But,
find the year Deebo Samuel started. Curtis Samuel
was started on the Panthers.
What year he started versus what year Cam Newton left, that would be 2020.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that they're going to have, this chemistry that they had beforehand, but I do think it's interesting. Washington's kind of in a it would be heartbreaking for Ryan Fitzpatrick, especially after last year with you came in on the Dolphins, going crazy for the first couple games, and then I guess whoever felt pressure to put into rip the team away from him, and I don't know.
Which that was its own disaster in its own right.
What I'm trying to say though is if in this hypothetical situation that he goes into Washington and the same thing happens again,
I think that's his job. Interesting that you went about it thinking about teams that could use a starter. Because when you think of teams that could use a starter, those are good options, and I think Indianapolis also comes to mind because if it's not Carson Wentz with this foot injury, then it's Jacob Eason, who is a young backup, or it's Sam Ehlinger, who's a rookie backup out of Texas, who I believe was a 5th or a 6th round pick. Go ahead, Jack. What do you got for us?
Curtis Samuel was drafted 2017 with in the second round. Probably started 2018 season on the Panthers.
I'm pretty sure he played mostly from a rookie. So 4 seasons that she played with Cam. So that's a bit of a report.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't really think too much of him. I mean, as a starter because at this point in the year, how many teams? If you're going to try to add somebody to be a new starting quarterback a week before week 1, you have to see yourself as a 8-9 team that guy might put you over the edge to 9-8 or 10-7. Sorry, the new records with the extra games still.
I get what you're saying though. Someone that's at least going to get.
It's got to be someone who you already
Yeah.
believe. Like, and Washington makes sense because they won the division last year, and we'll get to divisions later on.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking as far as like a high end backup, and he is a high end backup, I think still, with people who he fits in as their backup for, mobile, can get around, move outside of the pocket, make plays with his legs. I think there are 3 teams that make sense. One of them is the Ravens.
As a backup.
As the backup.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if Lamar Jackson goes down, he can do a lot of the same things Lamar can do. He's not as explosive as Lamar. He never was. But he's similar play
Fits
style.
the scheme, kinda. Yeah.
The New York Jets. They don't have.
Really?
I believe they cut Josh Johnson. I could be wrong about that. I think they cut Josh Johnson to get down to 53. I know Mike White is going to be the second back, the number 2, the backup. So that leaves them. Before they brought in Josh Johnson, they had Zach Wilson, obviously, Mike White, and James Morgan out of James Madison University, second-year play from last year. None of them have an NFL regular season snap. They're the first team to head into a season with that situation since 2013 when the New York Jets did it with Geno Smith and the Sims kid. Chris Sims, Matt Sims, one of the Sims kids. So it's not done often. And now I don't know if they cut Josh Johnson or if he made the roster, but I know Mike White's the backup right now. Mike White's all right. He knows the system.
Yeah.
Saleh loves him. LaFleur loves him. I think Cam Newton, because Zach Wilson makes plays with his feet, dude. He runs. I think Cam would be solid for them. I'd go, dude, I've been begging the Jets to trade for Nick Foles all offseason. Because what happens, say the Jets are better than we think they are, which I think they're not going to be very good. Say they're better than we think they are, and they're like 6-3, and Wilson goes down for 4 weeks. Well, now Mike White's your guy, and you're done. The playoffs are over for you.
Over. I the more that you make the case for the Jets to sign him as a backup, I think it does make sense. I didn't know that about the backup quarterback situation. Who was your third team? Who else did you think?
Colt McCoy's the backup now. Why can't I think of who? It makes Arizona.
For Kyler Murray?
Yeah. Kyler Murray is a quarterback who does a lot of the spread options, spread it out, make plays with your feet. And Kyler can't stay healthy. And
he had the shoulder towards the end of the year.
And his legs, he's got busted up ankles and he's got a busted up wheel. When your number one move as a quarterback is to your legs, you got to be able to play 18 games, 18 weeks. So I think Cam Newton makes a lot more sense in that because Kyler's probably going down 3 to 6 weeks.
Really?
I mean, it's just like Julio Jones. We'll get to that too. But how many games is Julio Jones going to give the Titans?
But Julio
8
Jones
or 9?
is so much older. You know,
he
is on the injury report a lot.
You look at the quarterbacks that move the way that Kyler moves. More often than not, they never play a complete 18 or a complete 17. And I just don't know if Colt McCoy fits what they want to do. You got to come in. You're gonna still try to do all of this air raid, Cliff Kingsbury nonsense. Colt McCoy, now very solid backup Colt McCoy in the right system, not this one. So I would say the Cardinals would be the third team. I would be calling Cam right now. And just the play style of Kyler Murray. Now it's really more Russell Wilson-like, I think, than Cam. But Cam's somebody who's going to be able to, just from his experience being the running quarterback that people don't really think can throw, I think he'd be a great mentor. I think Cam would have been a good mentor for Mac Jones.
I'm so curious as to why they cut him.
I think it's one of those, he's got to be one or he's got to be gone situations.
You think that's what it is?
Which a lot of teams, look, I gave a couple of teams, and I can't remember who it was. I gave a lot of teams shit last year for not doing this. So good on Bill.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to keep him around. It's a quarter, especially someone Cam's got to be 31, 32. Did you ever find out about Josh Johnson, Jack?
Josh Johnson for the Jets?
Yeah. Did they cut him yesterday, or is he still on the team? Just Google that for me while we keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Bill did the right thing by giving Cam, because you're not going to be able to trade him. They just gave him $15 million.
And you're right, and it's going to be one of those like storylines that lingers all year, where they're like, if Mac Jones messes up or has a bad game, you got it.
Josh Johnson is not coming up on the depth chart.
Josh Johnson?
Yeah.
All right, they probably cut him. If he's not the number 2, they probably cut him.
I don't see him here in transactions, but he's not appearing on the depth chart.
Yeah,
Well, let's just
they probably
assume
cut
that
him.
they caught him. We'll
Yeah.
double check it when we go into a break. But yeah, either way, he's not the number 2, and teams rarely dress 3. So as far as I'm concerned, he might as well not be on the team.
Yeah, and basically what I was saying is like, if Mac has a bad game, then the whole thing is going to be, do we put Cam back in, this, that, and the other thing? Everyone's going to be saying this, that. You're probably right. It's probably easier for Bill to just be like, all right, if Mac's going to do this, if we're going to commit to this, we got to commit to this and just let him play his full season with nothing else, distracting him.
And I mean, there's not a school that you come out of more pro ready at any position in the NFL than Alabama.
Yeah.
With Nick Saban. And look at that quarterback room. All 3 of them are opening day starters now.
Yeah. Yeah, they had something crazy where they listed, I think it was all the positions that went pro in the last 5 years, and it's pretty crazy who's on the list. Like,
from Alabama?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And it's like some schools are really good. It's like Clemson has become known as wide receiver university. They spit out Hopkins and Sammy Watkins and the guy from the Chargers who can't stay healthy, Mike Wilson.
Williams.
Williams, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Certain schools, like a lot of SEC schools, are like O-line, D-line, they're trench schools.
Yeah.
Alabama is just professional football players. Cornerbacks, safeties, linebackers, D-tackles, linemen, running backs, quarterbacks. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
There was a point where they were wide receiver year. You had Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Cooper, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So they're just, if anyone's going to be most ready, I think day one out of the 5 of these kids, I think it's going to be Mac Jones. But I'm trying to think. Oh, so Desean Watson, rumored to be going to not rumored to be going, but rumored teams.
He's gonna get suspended.
Team to rumored to have the most interest in him. There we go. We found the way to word it. Miami Dolphins.
Interesting to me.
Interesting in a situation where possibly we give you your picks back that we took from you for the Laramie Tunsil deal, plus one of our own picks, plus Tua. I just don't think they're ready to give up on Tua. And I don't even know. I'm sure Deshaun Watson will play again because Tyreek Hill still plays and Mike Vick got to come back. And what's his name? The other guy, whatever. You understand my point. Guys get a second chance in this league, and I think he will play again. Go ahead.
Talking about Kareem Hunt?
We're talking about Deshaun Watson.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. You're right. Kareem
guy.
Hunt was the other guy I'm talking about. You're correct. Both Chiefs players, him and Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think he'll get a second chance. Don't know if it's going to be 2021. Don't know if it's going to be 2022. But I think he'll play again. Obviously, he's never going to take another snap as a Texan, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think that's over.
It's Davis Mills' job to hold warm for a rookie. I think that they're gunning for that number 1 pick. But Brian Flores, very dismissive of it when brought up. Brian Flores, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. They brought it up after a preseason game or after a practice this week. And he was like, I'm interested in the players that are on the Miami Dolphins. They said, are you interested in Deshaun Watson at all? And he said, I'm interested in the players that are on the Miami Dolphins.
Probably not interested.
So it sounded like a hard start, hard no. I don't know. I don't know who's to say where he goes, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't even see an opening for him right now. Who would take him? Minnesota?
Why would they take him, though? They got Kirk. I mean, there's nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, who at this point is going to be willing to give up? I mean, if the Jets weren't willing to overpay for him before he had 24
well, that's the
women
issue
out
too.
against him.
So even if you trade for him, you still don't know what's going on legally. So if he winds up getting suspended for a full season or something else happens, you're banking on what? You're sending picks over for what? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think the best case scenario that could work out as far as Deshaun moving on is if the Texans were able to pursue something where this got worse, where they could get a grievance from the NFL and cut him and not because I'm sure
that would be a hell of a situation.
I'm sure there's some way that if this got worse and he got indicted, they could cut him and just wash their hands of it for nothing.
Yeah.
And then maybe he does time or whatever it is, and then a team could say, all right, here's $10 million for 1 year and earn it again. And play your way back into the league like they did with Mike Vick. Now, Mike Vick had way less than that. I think they gave him a vet's minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a third-string quarterback in Philly, and it was a while before he turned it around. He was an older player, too.
Yeah.
So, Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, not looking good in camp.
Dropping everything, it sounds
Jamar
like.
Chase,
Sounds like he's
Jamar
dropping
Chase
everything.
is allegedly dropping everything.
Yeah.
But so what I heard is the good news is that it is drops. And it's not that he doesn't understand the play calling or the verbiage or the route tree. It's not that he can't get open. He's just got a case of the drops.
And
Worried about it?
I'm not worried. He did not play. He didn't play at all last season. He was COVID exempt. So,
Yeah. Been a while since the man caught a football in pads.
I mean, it's definitely a concern. It's definitely not like something that you're happy about. But I feel like maybe he just needs to get back in the game speed. You also got to think if he took a year off in college, he's also stepping up into the pros. So the speed of the game itself is changing. Plus, you haven't played for a year. Maybe it's just
Heard a lot of people saying maybe they should have taken Penei Sewell instead, the left tackle out of Oregon. But he's having a garbage camp too in Detroit.
Is he?
Yeah. He's a turnstile over there in Detroit right now.
Jeez.
So it's like, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But Burrow starting and playing, I believe, like a half of the third and final preseason game, right? He played the whole first half, Jack?
Yeah.
What's that about?
I guess they think he's cleared. I don't know.
Even if he's cleared though, like the Jets, I don't think put out a single starter in the whole game.
No.
So even if he's cleared, he destroyed his knee last year.
I know. Yeah.
So
ACL, MCL, partial meniscus, all that.
Yeah, and then they're just like, no, but we still think that we're confident with the offensive line we got. We're not going to use our top 5 pick on a blue chip tackle prospect. We're instead going to get another receiver.
Yeah. I mean, they have Higgins and Boyd. I mean, the only person you lost was AJ Green, so it's not like you lose like one of your best receivers.
Well, they lost John Ross too, but I mean,
right.
they kind of sent John Ross packing. So did you really lose him? Not really. I don't know. I like Joe Burrow, man. He's cooler than the other side of a pillow. He looks a lot like Tom Brady.
Okay.
Just in terms of like his play style.
Yeah.
He's not the.
I never thought about that before.
Somebody was saying it. I don't know who I was listening to say this like last week. And they got a lot of shit for it. If you were building the ultimate, like Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, right?
Yeah, of course.
Probably still not top 3 right now at 40 whatever years old. But if you were building the greatest quarterback of all time in a lab, you wouldn't take any one trade of Tom Brady's. It's not his arm. Oh, you want to say maybe his brain? Okay, cool. Peyton Manning.
Doesn't run.
It's Patrick. Yeah, it's not his legs. It's not his arm. It's not his brain. It's not. But when you he's not the best at any one thing, but when you put it all together, he's better than anyone else who's ever done it. So it's an oddity with Tom Brady, right? And I think Burrow's a lot like that too. He doesn't have the strongest arm.
Mm.
He's got an arm. I mean, all these guys have arms.
But he can move a little bit.
He can move a little bit, a lot like Tom can move a little bit.
I think he moves a little bit better than Tom Brady.
Well,
even without
he moves
the age difference.
He moves a little bit better than Tom always moved.
That's what I'm saying.
But Tom has always moved better than people have given him credit for. Not in terms of stretching and turning the corner and making these fucking Mahomes throws, rolling out of the pocket, these Rodgers kind of throws. But the way he moves inside the pocket and makes people miss and buys himself an extra half a second to find Gronk wide open down the seam. He won at least 2 Super Bowls just on that kind of pocket movement alone. But yeah, I think a lot of he reminds me of young Brady a little bit, Burrow. Now, obviously, you don't want to be putting that kind of stamp on someone so young. It's like all these people saying Zach Wilson looks like Dan Marino. I'm like, would you please fucking stop?
I think Zach Wilson will be good. I do.
Well, that's a good segue. We could get right into the get right into the local guys, the New York teams. For people who might be new, we're a Long Island, New York-based show. So our local guys are the Jets and the Giants, not the Bills. They could go fuck off.
I fuck with the Bills.
Fuck the Bills. So, well, you want to go your boys first, or you want to go Jets first?
We can go Jets first.
All right. Jets off-season acquisitions. I got the list right here. I'm going to run them down for you. D-end Vinny Curry, 1 for $1.3 million, already done for the year. It's not IR. It's the non-football injury list. Jets doctors identified a rare blood disease.
Yes.
He almost lost his spleen. Get better, Vinny. He was going to be a situational rusher coming in on third downs and passing situations. Maybe he'll be back in green and white next year. Tevin Coleman, 1 for 1.2. Very good. I don't know how much he's going to carry the ball. I guess we're going to wait and see. It's a little crowded with a lot of young kids back there. Most proven running back they have by far. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins coming over from New Orleans for 2 for $17 million. Going to be a starter in that new 4-3 front, lining up next to Quinnen Williams. Very good pickup. I think he had a slightly underperformed last season, but the Saints were in a situation where you couldn't pay everybody.
They had major cap problems.
Some people were going to have to go, and hey, I'm a big Looking at it now, I think it might be my favorite signing they made because we'll get to my number one favorite signing is already irrelevant. Moving down the list, we got tight end Tyler Kroft, 1 for $2 million. Today they traded Chris Herndon, and they cut the rookie that they drafted, Kenny Yeboah, or maybe undrafted free agent Kenny Yeboah. They cut him today. Thin at tight end. I think as long as Kroft's healthy, he's going to be at least the number one receiving guy for them this year. And I forget is the other white guy that came on last season for them, the tight end, before he got hurt. I think he's still over there. I can't think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name either.
Does Daniel Brown ring a bell?
Not Daniel Brown.
Ryan Griffin.
Ryan Griffin. That's the guy I'm thinking of. Ryan Griffin. So it's probably going to be a lot of Tyler Kroft and Ryan Griffin at the tight end spot. Bringing over cornerback / safety LaMarcus Joyner. I believe he last played for the Vegas Raiders. I could be wrong about that. He fell off the last couple of years because he's moved over to safety, kind of out of position for himself. Come back over to the Jets. They're expecting him to play cornerback. He's going to be a good depth guy. I don't think he's going to be one of the top 3 starters there, but they need depth. They're shot in the defensive backfield. That's 1 for $3 million. Another depth signing I like. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but he's an absolute lightning rod. Wide receiver Keelan Cole, 1 for $5.5 million. When he gets the ball, he's a lightning rod with it. Very fast.
Yeah. And Jets have receivers this year.
I just don't know how many balls there's going to be for him to catch.
Yeah.
Another big depth move. Offensive lineman Dan Feeney, 1 for $3.5 million. Probably going to be most notably known for his appearances at the Islander playoff games. Now we're getting into a couple of starters. Linebacker Jared Davis, 1 for $5.5 million. Came over from Detroit. Was a former first-round pick, I believe, out of Cal with Detroit. And 1 year after he got there, that fat asshole from the Patriots, the guy who just got fired, their coach, Patricia, came over and he switched to a 3-4 front, which really doesn't do anything that Jared Davis does well. And his production has just fell off year after year since then. So he was available for 1 year for $5.5 million. Little bullshit injury he had. I don't know exact numbers on it. I don't know if he's going to be ready for day one, but he will be starting in one of those 3 linebacker spots. Brings much needed speed to the Jets front. Wide receiver Corey Davis, 3 for $37.5 million.
You like that?
This is good move, I think, for both sides. I mean, even if it turns out Corey Davis is really just a number 2 or a number 3, he's getting the money that he earned. And you can't sit on this cap space forever. You got to spend money.
Yeah.
They have a spending limit, floor, rather. You know what I'm saying? You have to spend X amount of dollars per year. Why not give it on a guy like this?
I think Corey Davis was a good addition, especially if you're going to draft Wilson and let him. Listen, I think the Jets are going to be slinging the ball all year. I think defense is going to be an issue just because of so many injuries that scores are going to be high, and I think Zach Wilson's going to be.
I agree for sure.
Yeah, throwing the lights out.
Even before the blow, we'll hear it. Defensive end Carl Lawson, 3 for $45, blown out Achilles on the IR for the year.
It's tough.
So even before the big blow with Carl Lawson and then the Vinny Curry thing, and we're losing a couple of other players, I think before that they were going to be chasing a lot and they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Last signing in the offseason was cornerback Justin Hardy, 3 for $6.75 million. Not really he's a cornerback, but he's a special teamer. He's going to be a gunner. He's going to be on punt team. He's going to do all that. So whatever. He's not even a returner. He's just one of those other special teams guys. Yeah, I mean, we needed it. It doesn't really jump off the page at anything, whatever. Going into their draft, I think the Jets did everything right here. I was begging them to use some of these day 2 capital that they had because they had so many day 2 picks to just move up and get the guy that you want instead of hoping it comes to you. And I had people calling me during the day, what would you do if you're the Jets? Well, I'm like, obviously they're going to draft Zach, so forget about that. I'm like, I would take the 2 third-round picks and move up to get an offensive lineman. And I specifically said to a few people, Elijah Vera Tucker. They did just that. They did just that. I have it over here in their trades. The Jets get the 14th overall pick and the 143rd overall pick in 2021. The Vikings get the 23rd overall pick, the 66th overall pick, and the 86th overall pick. So the Jets move pick 23 and their 2 3s to move up 9 spots to pick 14. They take offensive guard Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC, and then they later use that 143rd pick to trade up. Vikings get Kristen Darisaw, left tackle, with the 23rd pick, potential starting quarterback Kellen Mond
Mm.
out of Texas A&M with the 66th pick, and offensive guard Wyatt Davis with the 86th pick. So that was that trade. So round 1, pick 2, Zach Wilson. Round 1, pick 14, Elijah Vera Tucker. Pick 34, Elijah Moore, wide receiver out of Mississippi.
Getting hype. Getting hype.
I put some scratch on this kid. We'll get to it when we get to that segment, but I've already put some money on this kid. They were jumping for joy. They were talking about the Jets possibly trading back until they realized this guy was going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
He probably should have been gone in the first round.
Yeah.
Very similar to a guy the Giants took in the first round. Who knows? I'm not a scout. I'm not an NFL scouting. I'm not a talent scout.
That's fair.
But we're excited about that. And then so 107, 4th round, Michael Carter, running back, North Carolina. Pick 154th overall in the 5th round, Michael Carter II, cornerback from Duke University. Drafted 2 kids with the same name. Round 5, pick 175, Jason Pinnock, cornerback from Pitt. Round 6, pick 186, Hamza Nasirildeen. It's a linebacker from Florida State University. They converted him from strong safety. He's gained about 25 pounds since his last game in Florida. Right now, he's slated to start in that will spot.
Really?
So you get a fucking safety that you're converting into a linebacker at pick 186 in the 6th round, and if he starts day 1, absolute home run. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you lose there? They followed up with Brandon Eccles, cornerback from Kentucky, at 200 overall, and at 207, Jonathan Marshall, defensive tackle from Arkansas. Those last 2 guys, I'm not even sure made the 53, but I know Hamza Nasirildeen is probably going to start, and those other cornerbacks are going to be rotational guys. They're going young at cornerback. They didn't really feel the need to address it with a vet, and I don't blame them because, like I said, this team, I don't expect them to win. I mean, I don't know what their over-under is. I'm guessing it's around 6.5.
That's what I would say.
And I would probably, if it's 6.5 is hard. If it was 7.5, I would say smash the under. We expect some good moments. You hope that Zach Wilson shows you something and that it's not going to be a total bust for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to show a lot of good things. They're not there yet. Hopefully they're a few moves away from being there in 2022. But again, it's another rebuild year for the Jets. We've been doing it since fucking
2010.
I guess, but even I mean, we've really been doing it since I've been born. Probably before that. Other notable trades they made in the offseason. There is the Jets get defensive end Shaq Lawson. Texans get 2022 6th round pick. So the Texans only traded for Shaq Lawson at the beginning of the summer. Shaq Lawson literally did a camp with them and got sent on his way. They showed him his papers. So they traded Bernardrick McKinney and a 7th round pick to Miami back in March for Shaq Lawson and a 6th. Now they trade Shaq Lawson to the Jets for an additional 6, effectively making this, they traded Bernardrick McKinney for 2 6th round picks. I think it's low risk, high reward for the Jets.
Yeah.
Because he's due to make less than $1 million this year. I think it's $998. And then if he's on the roster next year, he's up to almost $10 million. But he's going to have to earn that spot.
Yeah.
And the Texans obviously don't want to win. They're not in the business of winning football games this year. Add more draft capital, even though it's a 6th round pick and the guy might not make the team. So the only one more big notable trade the Jets made. The Jets get 2021 6th round pick, which I never even checked to see who that turned out to be. They might have traded that original pick. And a 2022 2nd and 4th round picks. Panthers get quarterback Sam Darnold.
You're upset about that?
Not necessarily, because at the time they were saying his ceiling possibly was a third round pick. But then you hear right around the draft, we hear that San Francisco offered the 12th overall pick for Sam Darnold straight up. But the Jets hadn't.
That's wild.
But the Jets hadn't seen Zach Wilson's pro day yet, and they weren't sold on him.
Gotcha.
Then, by the time they were sold on the pro day, the Niners already saw Trey Lance's pro day.
Yeah.
They were sold on him.
And they were
Instead
like,
of giving
good.
up 1 1st round pick for Darnold, they gave up 3 to go get Trey Lance. Darnold winds up in a good situation
Yeah.
in Carolina. I think Darnold's going to be good.
I think Darnold's going to throw the lights
I
out.
think he's going to be all right. He's one of my favorites for comeback player of the year. So that's that on the Jets. Any additional things to say about them?
No.
Don't expect much.
I think they're in the same boat as the Giants. I think we're both six. They're both 6-win teams. But I think the Jets' offense might be more exciting because I don't know. Well, I'll get to it.
I disagree that they're in the same boat.
Really?
I do.
I don't know.
I do, and here's why. I only have 4. It was much easier for me to get my hands on Jets offseason information than it was for the Giants. Don't know why. What's up, media? What's up, New York media?
I don't know.
So here's the 4 signings that were notable that I was able to get for sure for the Giants. Kenny Gallaudet, wide receiver, 4 for 72, coming from Detroit. The speedy, electric, if not underutilized, John Ross. I have 1 for 2.5 with a question mark because I'm not sure what the number was final on his contract. Jack's
I don't know what his contract
but
was.
I know it was like a vet's minimum. It was like 1 for around $2 million. So what if even if he didn't make the final 53, which I'm not sure if he did or not.
I think he did.
What he's electrifying. He's either gonna get a decent contract with the Giants this offseason or doing the same thing next year. Well, sneakily like this one. Kyle Rudolph, tight end, 2 for 14. Especially
if he can
now,
catch the ball better than Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram's hurt now.
Yeah, so
Huge red zone target for Danny Dimes.
John Ross signed a 1-year, $2.250 million deal.
Okay, so I was off by 250,000.
500,000 signing bonus, $1 million guaranteed.
Did he make the final 53?
Yes, he is currently appearing here on the depth chart.
And then Adoree Jackson, cornerback, 3 for $39 million. I don't remember his guarantee on that, but I'm sure it was stupid high. It was probably right around 28, 29 million guaranteed. So, big thing here, speed and size. We wanted to get Daniel Jones more speed and size. Kyle Rudolph is a big boy in that red zone. Kenny Gallaudet, big boy in that red zone.
Yeah.
You get Saquon coming back. He might be ready for week 1. I don't think he should be, but
I don't think he should be either.
we'll see what happens. Point is, I don't think they're in the same boat because Zach Wilson's got the keys and he just opened up a new 3-5-year lease. Daniel Jones is trying to beg the landlord to let him re-sign. This is Daniel Jones, man. Especially
it's exactly.
There was
what
a
I
lot
gonna
of
say.
problems with the offense last season. Saquon went down number 1. Now they're able to fucking just cloud the box and bracket people. And they didn't have great receiver. They didn't have a lot of receiver. Now you got Kenny Gallaudet. Don't know how well John Ross is going to do. He's out there now, though. Got Kyle Rudolph. Evan Ingram's not going to be dropping the ball with his feet for hands. And then we move right into the draft. After, I believe they traded back, right? Or were they picked?
Did trade back.
They did trade back. Picked 20th overall, Kadarius Toney, wide receiver from Florida. Now, this is what I was getting to. When you think Kadarius Toney, I want you to think Percy Harvin. It's the kind of player.
That's what I've seen.
The kind of player he is. That's the kind of wore the number 1 at Florida, just like Percy did. Did a lot. Played running back. Played in the slot. Played in the outside. Did a little like weird running back H-back shit. Return kicks. Return punts. I'm sure they might have even put him out there on defense at some point. This is the guy I was alluding to when I was saying maybe a lot like if that's the kind of little shifty guy you want. Elijah Moore maybe was probably received higher by many more people than. But I'm just a guy.
Yeah, maybe Giants saw something.
So I liked him. I wanted the Jets to take him because I figured he'd be the best guy available at 34.
Yeah.
Little did I know Elijah Moore was going to get disrespected by 32 teams and then 2 more teams twice. So round 2, pick 50. This guy, Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher from Georgia, probably, maybe not immediately right now, but he's going to be a sack monster. Should have been a first-round pick, had some sort of injury or heart problem that came up at the combine. Azeez Ojulari, look up what happened to him at the draft, please.
Spell that for me.
A-Z-E-E-Z. Oh, that's his first name, Azeez. O-J-U-L-A-R-I. Ojulari. There was a reason he fell out. He was supposed to be like a top 20 pick, like up until a month or so before the draft or something like that. 3rd and 4th round, pick 71 and 116 respectively. They go with... Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're not both cornerbacks. Pick 71 overall, they take Aaron Robinson, cornerback from Central Florida. Pick 116 is Ellerson Smith, inside linebacker from Northern Iowa. 2 in the 6, 196 and 201. They take Gary Brightwell, running back from Arizona, and Rodarius Williams, cornerback from Oklahoma State. And that's their draft and all of the offseason moves I have recorded for them as far as additions. We were talking about before we went on the air, Big Cat Leonard Williams, former New York Jet, re-signed in March. But as far as acquisitions, I can't. Did I miss any that you know of?
No.
From this season?
No, not that I can remember. To be honest with you, though, and this is what I was trying to say before, because I agree with you completely. I think this is the year Daniel Jones. It has to be a positive year. Because to be honest, the reason I say they're in the same boat is I don't think I'm sold on Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's the guy. And I feel like if he's going to change my mind, and I think a lot of people's minds, this is going to be the year. You're surrounded. Like,
well, it's got to be the year. It's got to be the year.
There's no excuse.
I want to save some of the division stuff for when we get to it because I do think that I think there's two teams that could win the NFC East, and I think they're one of them. Yeah, it's just sloppy. It's a little sloppy. The interceptions you can live with if the touchdowns
are fumbles.
It's the fumbles.
It's crazy.
We talk about this a lot. I was saying it again at a buddy's house watching the Jake Paul fight this past weekend. Mm-hmm. A lot of young kids in high school, big Giants fans, they love the Giants.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Daniel Jones. And I said, do you know that this is a statistic. I'm not making this up. This is an actual statistic. If Daniel Jones gets hit with the football in his hand, like not after he already threw it, if he has possession of the football when he gets hit so far in his career, there is a 33% chance that he fumbles that football.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I'm not making it up. It's not what it feels like. It's not, it feels like one out of every 3 times he gets sacked or hit,
to drop the ball.
He fumbles the fucking football. And it's not for lack of hand size or body size. He's kid's 6'6".
Yeah.
He's got mitts. Something's got to, and then those are things you can coach up. And if you don't coach them up, they're not going away.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they figured it out this season, honestly.
I think they will, but I think that's just me saying it because, the Giants, this is probably the longest in our lives the Giants have gone without success.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, now it got bad in the 80s. Come on, Jack.
Azeez Ojulari
That wasn't a lot of
had
days.
a
I don't care
lower
about
leg
days.
condition, according to Pro Football's network.
A leg condition? Was it like a
degenerative lower leg condition?
So it was like a muscle thing or something.
Yeah.
Right. So if that gets worked out with modern medicine, it should. The Giants, once again, the factory of fucking edge rushers, they'll probably turn him into a 12-sack-a-year guy. So like I was saying, I think it's more that the Giants, they have, like, the stretch in the 80s, they were really bad for like 20 straight years, but we weren't alive for that until they started getting, until LT showed up. They haven't, like 2000, they played in the Super Bowl. They get ran over by the Ravens.
Yep.
It is what it is. Then they're like kind of middling for a couple of years. They bring Eli in 2004. Now by 2007, people are calling for Eli's job and for Tom Coughlin's job. Well, what do? They only knocked off the greatest team in the the 2007 Patriots in Super Bowl 42, the helmet catch, the Plexico Burress go-ahead touchdown, where I'm pretty sure he said his groin exploded on that play. And then again, what happens? 4 or 5 years go by. We're calling for Eli and Eli and Tommy C's job again in 2012. Patriots again. Cool. No big deal. We're going to hand it to you again. And now since then, they've kind of just been, you had a couple of the good days with Odell.
Yeah.
One good season with Odell when they made the playoffs and then got dusted in the first round.
Yeah.
Right?
Packers came through.
And since then, it's been miserable. And it's like, I feel like we got 2 versions of the Jets. Go ahead, Jack.
What year was that Plaxico Birds catch?
2007 season, I believe it was the 2008.
Played that entire 2007 season on a broken ankle.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
So that'll do it.
So yeah, you think the Giants can turn it around? You think this is their year? I like the talent Danny Jones has. It's just, can he be cleaner with that football? So that's it for the local Jets and Giants. Anything else on general offseason news or stories before we take a quick break?
No.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, and we're going to take a quick minute right now. We have actual sponsors this season. It's season 2. Shit is real. It's legit. So I'm here to talk to you about our first sponsor, the first people who came to us and we came together. It's Sachi Di Dinero, local streetwear brand from Long Island, New York. The gear's fresh. The gear's comfortable. And it looks good while you're wearing it. It's kind of like if you're looking to wear streetwear, you don't want to spend $600 on a Thrasher t-shirt. You don't want to spend $1,000 on Supreme socks. You don't want to spend $1,500 on a Supreme crowbar. Be one of the first in the game. Get the new Supreme, the next Thrasher, Sachi di Dinero. That's Italian for bags of money. I don't know if you knew that, Brian.
I did not know.
They hooked up the house, and now they're hooking up our fans too. Promo code HAVOC at checkout, that's HAVOC, is going to save you 10% on your next purchase. SachiDiDinero.com. SachiDiDinero.com. Promo code HAVOC. Back to the show. And we're back, and it's time for everyone's favorite part of the Futures show, the win totals, the over-under on the win totals. Basically, this is where we come out and we put our balls on the table and we say they're going to win more than these many games, they're going to win less than these many games. I'm smarter than Vegas, and I'm going to prove it with this bet. Seems like easy money. Before we get into any futures bets, I'm going to open this in honor of our friend Anthony Alessino, who's not here with us today. He's a big proponent to future bets are a waste of money. Because if you bet over on a win total on the Chiefs and then Mahomes blows out a knee in week 2, you're done.
Yeah.
So the one way people like Alessino look at it, like it's a waste of money unless you're putting 4 figures down. And then it's going to be worth it when the payout comes. They're still fun to look at. It's the only content we have before we get any real football. So we're going to get into it anyway. Maybe make a couple of fake gentlemen's bets. I don't know if I'm putting any more money down today, but we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start with win totals. Jack's going to yell out the team name. We're both going to guess. And then Jack's going to say the actual number that we have according to our sports book here. And the way that we're doing it is Price is Right rules. So if you go over, if we're both the same, say the over-under is 9.5, and I guess 10.5, and you guess 9, or you guess 8.5, we're both 1.5 away. You get the win because you didn't go over. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if it's 10 and I say 10.5 and you say 9.5, you win because I busted out.
Gotcha.
So let's go. Hit us with the first team.
First team, Dallas Cowboys.
Go ahead. You can go first. You can add stuff to it too to justify your number.
I'll say as long. I guess that's part of it though. I'll say 9.5. I think if Dak is in the offense this year, if the foot works out, and all of a sudden the shoulder that we're having trouble with works out, I think the Cowboys' offense really good this year, enough to get them to win games. I think 9.5. I don't know if that's bold, but
Cowboys supporting cast on offense is phenomenal.
yeah,
They're losing what was their number one offensive line. It's falling apart by the day. Ultimately, I don't think Dak's going to throw 200 or more passes this season. I don't think Vegas thinks he's going to throw more than 200 passes this season. I'm saying 7.
Brian, right on the head.
9.5.
9.5.
I would bet I'd bet the under on that. Honestly,
Yeah?
I would take the under on
Yeah.
it because I don't know if Dak doesn't play. I think they're out.
You want to know the under?
What?
You want to know the under?
What do you mean the under? The odds? The odds is
Odds.
no. I don't need it. They're always the same for over unders.
All right.
It's okay though. You'll learn. This is Jack's first day on the job, guys. Let us know how he did in the comments. Next game.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Jesus Christ. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Never been done before in the history of the NFL has a team won a Super Bowl and retained everybody the following season.
Except for now.
Except for right now.
Yeah.
It's Tommy Terrific. They were saying up until like week 10 of last year, he still was learning the playbook, and we saw what happened. No COVID off season, a whole year with the playbook, already Super Bowl champion with his guys. I'm going to say the over-under. I don't want to be ridiculous and say like 13,
I think I might.
but I
yeah.
think it should be like 11.5, 12. I'm going to lock it in at 11.5.
I mean, I'm totally agree with everything you said. I was going to go a little bit bolder. So I was going to go with 12.5. I think
12.5?
Yeah, I think the Bucs run away with it this year.
Jimmy, right on the head.
Oh,
11 and a half.
11 and a half, huh?
All right. All right.
All right. So we agreed we weren't playing for anything today in this game, but right now it's 1-1. Next game. Next team.
Next team, Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think.
You want me to go first? Because I'm ready.
You're ready? I'm not. Yeah, I'm still
think,
thinking.
I think Cliff Kingsbury is in the running for first coach fired, and he's also in the running.
God.
I think he's in the running for the worst currently employed coach. I think it's him and Matt Nagy.
Really?
I think
This is a hot take.
I think last season while the playoffs were, I said it last season.
No, I just
When the playoffs were still going on, I said I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the worst active coach when all the dust settles, and I think I was right. I mean, Matt Nagy might still be up there too with the Bears, but Trubisky sucked. Wasn't ever really his guy. So with that being said, I'm going to say the over-under on the Arizona Cardinals should probably be right around 500, and since there is no true 500 this year, I'm going to say 8.5.
Yeah, that's probably where I was gonna go. I'll go 7.5, just to.
Jimmy on the head again at 8.5.
8.5 again, huh? Jeez. I did almost no research. I definitely didn't look up any numbers.
I haven't looked up numbers all year.
So, I mean, listen, we were high on the Cardinals last season, especially in the first half of the year. We all won a bunch of money on them.
Yeah.
They're always going to be fun to watch when Kyler's healthy and Nuke Hopkins is healthy. Added J.J. Swat. There's just something about Cliff Kingsbury. His time management skills are abysmal. And with that offense, you can't mismanage the clock when you're snapping the ball every 45 real seconds the way they do. And when you're throwing it and lining up in the pistol and the shotgun, and you're almost never lining up under center because I don't think they have it in their package. I don't think they have an under center formation.
Probably not.
Closest they get is the pistol with Kyler like 4 yards back.
Yeah.
Not a good system to run, and also have terrible time management blunders. So I would probably stay away. I wouldn't necessarily go over or under. I'd avoid it at all costs.
Next team, we got the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
Now they're intriguing. In terms of teams that might be like 6 or 7 wins better than they were last year, I think they're like up there.
I think I'd still put them at 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
Over under 6.5. That's just like, I can't do it. 7.5.
Jimmy on the head again.
Oh my God,
Really?
chill out.
Jesus
Sure you
Christ.
didn't look at numbers?
No, I'm positive I didn't look at any over under numbers.
Go on,
None.
We're perfect right now.
No, not
you got the
perfect.
first one right.
I missed the first one. He got the first one right. But all right. So 7.5. I think I'd probably take the over on that. Kyle Pitts is going to be real. I don't think Matt Ryan's done yet. I think they might have a little. I think they might have a little Ewing theory shit going on with Julio Jones. I don't know if you're aware of the Ewing theory.
No.
Patrick Ewing, the year that he blew out his Achilles, the Knicks were actually better. They were better without him than they were
You
with
think
him.
the Falcons are better? I mean, Ridley is.
It's like an addition by subtraction kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
Next team, we got the Buffalo Bills.
Now this is where it might get ridiculous. I think Vegas is high on them. I
Yeah.
think Vegas probably views them as the second or third best team in the league. I think they're definitely viewed as the second best team in the AFC.
Without a doubt.
I want to say like 13 and a half.
I was going to say 12.5 also.
Yeah.
Your number was 10.5, so I guess that goes to Brian.
It's 10 and a half.
Wow.
Brian gets
So
on.
they're not that confident. We're more confident.
Yeah, I mean,
That's wild.
the thing is that
10 though?
I guess Vegas is always trying to like overcome the recency bias.
Gotcha.
So think about before last season. Now part of it's not fair because before last season, Josh Allen was in his second year in the league, getting his fucking feet wet. Weird one. I'm not going to bet on it personally. In my heart, I feel like they're going to go over 10.5 wins.
I would hit it over immediately.
But I wouldn't personally bet on it just because Jets fan, AFC East, my loyalty's got to lie somewhere.
Yeah. Got to draw the line.
All right. Moving forward, we got the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, this one's
Carolina Panthers,
interesting.
the over-under on this should be 6.5 wins, and I'm standing pat on that.
God damn it. I'll say 7.5 because I was going to go 6.5 too, but.
Brian on the head. At
Oh,
7.5.
there we go.
7.5, all right.
It had to be somewhere around there.
So here's where I feel weird about this because one of my favorites for comeback player of the year is Darnold, and we'll get to the odds and all that bullshit in a little bit. But at the same time, I think under.
Nah. I think 6 or 7 is where they're going to fall.
How many games are we getting out of McCaffrey? I have questions that we don't have answers for that I need.
Why? You think
he was done week 3 last year. That happens. It's fucking over for them quick, dude, before it starts.
I don't think that happens again. I think he'll be fine. I think he gets a full... Maybe he misses a game or 2, but...
You do like Darnold and Robbie Anderson know each other very well.
Yeah.
They like
I think
each
that's
other.
very exciting.
And Matt Rule is going to let this kid sling it. There was a point where Adam Gase, it was almost like Adam Gase wanted out towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't. There was a point. What are you playing for? Because you're 0-12,
Yeah.
and they still
Everyone's
won't
talking about you getting fired
they're still giving Frank Gore the fucking ball in between the guards 30 times a game. A lot of what Adam Gase did made no sense, but he's rich, motherfucker, like he said.
Fair enough.
Next team,
Chicago Bears.
Oof. I'm going with 6.5 on this.
Can I ask you a question? And Brian, you can tell me if I'm not allowed to ask this because they're not always in halves. Is every number you got there in a half?
Every number I've read so far is in half.
All right, because it's not always a half. Sometimes they'll give you the 0, and now you got to play a game. What did you say? Did you go, Brian?
Yeah, I said 6.5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be higher. I think it's going to be 8.5.
7.5.
Right between the two of us.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of the Bears, man, because like we just talked about Matt Nagy already. He's either a sitting duck or he has a quiet arrangement with the team that he's good to go next season no matter what. Because the shit that he's doing, and we're going to go out there, we're going to send Andy Dalton out there right away.
Yeah. I think Andy Dalton plays for a couple of weeks, but I think Justin Fields, he will play this year.
I think Fields is going to be really good.
So do I.
And their defense is really good. And I just don't know. If I knew Fields was going to start, knowing that he's an unknown and that he's never taken an NFL snap, I'd say go over the 7.5 easy. Because I could see them. Because over 7.5, you could hit that and still be below 500 now.
Yeah.
With 8 and 9. So it's like, what do these numbers really mean? It's not the same number that we would be talking about last year. I can't. If like I said, if Fields was starting, if we knew he was coming in even like before week 4, I'd say go over. I can't do it with Dalton, so I'm not going to touch it. But I think they should go over.
Next up, Cincinnati Bengals.
7.
I think this one should be lower.
Lower?
I think it should be lower. I'm going to go like 5.5.
Number is 6.5.
I mean, look, everyone can't go over. Some of these teams have to go under. I don't know if they're ready yet. I think they're going to be one of these teams with the Jets in like a year or two that are ready to make the leap. I'd probably say under. I bet you they go like 6-11, 5-12.
Next team, Cleveland Browns.
I bet you it's 9.5.
I was going to say 8.
Say whatever you want. 8, 9.5. What do you got?
10.5.
Oh, big on the Browns.
10.5.
All right.
Huh? It's a tough one.
Looked good against the Chiefs in the playoffs last year.
You go and you look at that division. What is Big Ben and the Steelers going to give you? Right? What are the Bengals going to give you? And then what are the why am I blanking on the fourth AFC North team?
I'm also blanking.
Houston? That's AFC South.
Yeah. Oh, the Colts. Right?
That's AFC South as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Jack's pulling it up right now. So let's.
Jeez, that's bad.
Dude, we did the same thing. The Ravens. We did the same thing. So the Ravens were a team that underperformed largely last season. The Steelers were a team that overperformed. They're bringing back most of what they had. And now the Bengals are going to be better, we expect, as long as everyone stays healthy and Jamar Chase starts catching the ball.
Yeah.
It's one of the more difficult divisions, especially in the AFC. The AFC West might be the only more difficult division, but I don't even know if that division is going to be that competitive. So it's hard to block in an over 10.5 wins when all 4 teams in that division, I can make a case for any one of the 4 of them winning. There's not like
Yeah.
write one team off right now from the AFC North.
I think if anyone, maybe it's the Bengals, but
They're,
Yeah,
and all right,
maybe.
they're the only ones you can really write
Yeah.
off. Next team.
Denver Broncos.
this is a 7, 7.5.
I think this is a 7.5 too.
Not 8.5.
8.5. All right. I thought he was gonna say 9.
See, you got the Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock thing going on. What has Teddy really shown you since the knee injury? When I heard he won the job, I was hurt a little bit because Drew Lock is one of my favorite
Yeah,
guys.
Drew Lock.
He's one of my guys doing the young Jeezy on the fucking bench and snapping them. He's just a good fucking personality, and he's a slinger, dude. He's got
Yeah.
some farve in him. So I don't know, like, what is Teddy Bridgewater? Has Teddy Bridgewater sold anything to you on why he should be their starter over Drew Lock?
No, not really. I mean, he's
Turns
not,
the ball over less,
it's
maybe.
he's a mid-range passer, not really much of a deep threat. On a team with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
And KJ Hamler
Yeah.
and Noah Fant and Phil Lindsay's not there anymore. I don't
No,
think.
he's in Houston. It's Melvin and the rookie Javion Williams, I think his name is.
Yes.
So
Other than, like, he probably is going to turn the ball over less, that's probably the only thing that Teddy's going to do that Drew can't.
Drew is exciting though.
I just don't
Yeah.
think I can't see them winning. I can't see Teddy being an above 500 guy again. Now the number was 9.5.
Number was 9.5.
Yeah,
Oh no,
that's-
8.5.
8.5. So that means that going over makes them 9-8 and makes them above 500. I don't think they're an above 500 team this year with Teddy at the helm. I go under.
All right. Next team, Detroit Lions.
3.5.
Oh, God. I was gonna say 4.
It's probably 4.5, but 3.5 to be
What does it
disrespectful.
say?
Oh, what'd you
4.
4? 5.5.
Oh, all right. I mean,
That might still be the lowest number, right? I mean, Houston might have a
Texans,
lower
yeah.
number than that. Yeah. Jared Goff is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't even really think the Lions want him so much as they just wanted to get Stafford
away.
not even away, just get him somewhere he wanted to be because
Yeah.
they do owe that to Stafford.
Definitely.
The guy practically broke his back twice for them. He played a whole season with a fractured vertebrae 2 years ago. And they refused to help him his entire career. Matt Stafford's career, we should be talking about it way differently than we have been.
Yeah. Well, maybe
And
that'll happen this
he
year.
doesn't seem it because he's like this big, doofy, like hickey-looking white guy. Elite level athleticism as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah.
Elite arm talent. Like he's like Phil Rivers with better legs, dude. And now he doesn't have much legs, especially now, but elite arm talent, can get rid of the ball from any angle. But we're talking about the Lions. Like I said, they got the 2 first-round picks, and they kind of had to take Jared Goff back.
Yeah.
I think that's the price of taking 2 first-round picks. At the end of this season, they could cut him and lose a little. At the end of next season, they can cut him and lose nothing. So I think he's going to get his shot. They're probably going to draft a kid, and then he's going to be the bridge for the kid next year, and then he'll be playing in the backup
somewhere.
spot. So I don't expect them. They'll be picking in the top 5. They're looking for a new quarterback next season.
We got the Green Bay Packers.
I'll say 11.
I was going to say 11.5. Yeah.
Numbers 10.5.
10.5.
Over.
Yeah.
Over.
Easily over. Yeah.
Over and keep it moving.
Next team, Houston Texans.
3.5.
4.
4.
4.
4 even.
So
4
Houston
even.
is the lowest. Damn. Yeah.
And it's 4 even. So that's tough to go under. That's what I'm talking about, where they don't want. It's tough to go under 4 even, but it's not that tough to go under 4.5. So look, as we've spoken about on this show ad nauseum, different books are giving you different lines. The book we use here is not the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's not the Barstool Sportsbook. It's not the Borgata. If you go find that 4.5, or maybe you even find a 5, you smash it.
Definitely.
4 is tough. I don't know if I'd go under 4 even, but I'd go under 4.5.
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars.
It feels like it should be 6.5.
Yeah.
And it feels like over should be a lock, but I don't know.
I was going to say 6 flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 6.5.
Jamie is shooting real good at 6.5.
6.5. Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
see, the over feels like it should be a lock, but I don't know because Same reason when we get to the rookie year shit that I feel like even though Trevor seems like not the no-brainer, that offensive line is terrible. In the preseason, he was getting smacked around. They can't keep him up on his own 2 feet. He might not play all 17. Even if he does, he's going to be running for his life. A lot of the great quarterbacks that are really great when they come in don't win a lot. Peyton went, 0-16? Not 0-16, 3-13 his rookie year.
I think so.
Marino really is the only great quarterback right away that came out and won. A lot of them all struggle off the bat, and it's because their teams are largely garbage. Now, the Jaguars, as far as a number 1 overall pick, bringing a quarterback in, have way more talent than most teams do at the skill positions. I mean, DJ Shark, Laviska Shenault.
Got Marvin Jones Jr. also.
Marvin Jones Jr., but he's
James Robinson.
hurt right now. James Robinson. They got the talent. He's probably going to be very good. They're probably going to be good off. The Urban Meyer thing's weird. I'd go under. Just because I don't know if they can keep him up. Like if he misses 4 games, it's over.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to keep him upright in practice. So how are they going to keep fucking what's his name? Like guys like Von Miller off of him.
Yeah.
They're not.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh.
13.5.
I was going to say 13.
12.5.
12.5.
I got a weird feeling, and this is based on nothing but emotion, I guess. Short the Chiefs this year.
Really?
Short them. Go under.
Nah.
12.5 is a lot, dude. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying don't bet them to make the playoffs or to win the division, but I think under 12.5. At some point they have to start hitting some adversity here. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just laid out how to get them.
Yeah.
They just laid it out. You need speed over the middle. That's a lot of these shorter, smaller, faster inside linebackers who are getting converted from safety, like Devin White, to be able to run all over the field, and you got to get after him with 4 guys. Bucks did it, and the game was over.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they had the line issues. They shored up that offensive line this offseason, big time. But we'll see. I don't know. I think they're still going to be great. 13 wins is hard to get to on a regular basis for anybody.
Los Angeles Chargers.
9.5.
8.
Jimmy still shooting high. 9.5.
Goddamn. I'd go over. I like the Chargers. This is part of the reason that I think it's going to be tough in that AFC West because Herbert taking the year 2 leap. I think that coach seems like the guy. He's one of these young guys where the player, he seems to connect to the players a little bit more. Definitely seems like he's going to connect to Justin Herbert a little bit more. But I don't think Anthony Lynn was the problem there to begin with, so it's weird. Defense is getting better. You imagine Bosa's going to be there all year. Derwin James is back. They missed him all year last year, so they're going to be better on defense and probably just as good, if not better, on offense with Justin Herbert in there too.
I think they'll go over easily.
I think they have a real shot to win the division.
Next up, Los Angeles Rams.
I think go ahead.
I was going to say 9.
I
9.5.
I think Vegas is real high on them right now, and I bet you that number is like 10.5 or 11.
Jimmy, what's your final number?
10.5.
Shooting almost
10.5.
Jimmy at 10.5.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford's in town. That's really all.
We saw what happened when they went to the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford's on that team, and they're Super Bowl champs right now.
Yeah.
Jared Goff could not complete a forward pass in that entire game.
That was a tough Super Bowl.
And that game has probably been, like, since then, Jared Goff has been just... I never thought he was good.
Yeah.
But since that Super Bowl game, it's just been getting worse and worse for him ever since then. Stafford's on the field in that game. They smacked the shit out of the Patriots. But, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. So it is what it is. I said back when they traded for him, not 1, but at least 2 Super Bowls Matt Stafford would win while he was with the Rams. Still standing by that. Don't know if it's going to happen this season, but I think over 10.5 easy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We didn't even... Did we get to their number yet?
What number?
Yeah, it was 10.5. Yeah, so over 10.5. Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we got the Miami Dolphins.
6.5.
I was going to say someone has to be the bottom of the AFC East, and I don't think it's going to be Miami. And they won way more games than they had any business winning last year. And on paper, they got better, not worse. 8.5.
Shocking number here. We got 9.5.
Whoa, 9.5.
I was going to guess
seems
9.5.
high. No,
Well,
you
would they
don't-
win 10 games last year?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe I was a little too low on 6. But, yeah.
I just 9.5. Unless you're a Dolphins fan, don't make this bet at all. But definitely don't go over. Here's the one thing I'll say about Miami. Chan Gailey was the offensive coordinator last season, who was Ryan Fitzpatrick's guy. He was the head coach way back in the day when they were both in Buffalo. That entire offense is built for Ryan Fitzpatrick. A lot of 2 tight ends, a lot of running the ball, not a lot of opening it up. Everything Tua does is 4 wide vertical. That's everything he does well, is throw the ball deep, spread the field out. So even when he got his chance, it's like playing with the fucking safety on.
Yeah.
So they are going to open this shit up this year. They went and got Jalen Waddle. They went and got Will Fuller. Who knows how many games he's going to even play. They got more speed. They're going to do more of what Tua wants to do, and we're going to find out about Tua this year. I think it's a lot for a second-year guy who barely did well in his rookie year to go from one system on all the way on the left end of the spectrum to go to a system almost as far right as you can go. The only further right you get with that is like what fucking Kingsbury does with Kyler. So I think it's going to be hard for them to make that jump, and I'd go under.
Minnesota Vikings.
5.5.
Yeah, 6.
8.5.
Under.
Yeah, I take
I have
the under
nothing
on
else to
that.
say about it. We don't bet on the fucking
touch the
Vikings,
Vikings.
and we don't touch Kirk Cousins. Moving on.
Not exciting.
Moving on. New York Giants.
5.5.
No, I bet you this is
No,
close.
stop.
I bet you this number is closer to 500. I bet you this is like
No.
8.5.
Final
7.
number 8.
8.5.
I'm going to 6. I'm going to 6.
Number is 7.
7 on the dot.
Wow.
I was gonna go down to 7.5, and I didn't. They better fucking be able to win 8 games for the sake of. Here's the thing: Joe Judge ain't going nowhere.
No, they like it. Yeah,
Joe
they
Judge
definitely
ain't
seem to
going
like it.
nowhere. So Daniel Jones, for his fucking sake, they better win 8 games or more. Like I said, if you're if you're a Giants fan, it a lot matters. A lot you better just take the over because they need to get over 7.
They do.
Moving on, we got the home team, New York Jets.
The New York not yet. This should be 6.5.
Yeah, I'd say 5. No, I'll say 6.
Jimmy on the dot.
Yeah,
6.5.
I don't think they will go over.
You don't think they will go over?
I don't think they'll go over 6.5. I bet 6 and 11 is right where they belong on the high end. They made vast improvements, but then right away they lose the number one improvement that they make. The defense still isn't there. A lot of young guys in the secondary. Lost Jamal Adams. Could be losing Marcus May this offseason. I don't know. They're not there yet. I bet you they win anywhere from 4 to 6 games, but the 7th I don't see happening.
We got the Philadelphia Eagles.
4.5.
4.5. I was gonna say 6.
Not only do I not believe in Jalen Hurts, I don't think anyone in Philadelphia
Yeah, I don't
really
think
does.
they do either.
Final number 6, Brian?
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah. I mean,
I think they're going to be looking for a new quarterback probably
they do.
next
They
year.
just got him. Well, yeah.
The mustache.
Minshew.
That's what we should have talked about. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Gardner.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
This one's hard
This
because,
is
like you
gonna-
were saying before, you don't know.
This is going to
How
be
this is gonna
disrespectfully low for a team that won 11 or 12 games last season. I think they went 12-4. It didn't end the way they wanted it to.
No.
They did go 12-4. Didn't end the way they wanted it to. And even when they were winning games, it seemed like eventually they had to start losing because of the way they were playing. And Ben kind of seemingly is falling apart. I think it's going to be absurdly low. I think it's going to be like 7.5.
I'll say 9.
Got 8.5.
8.5.
I can't say whether or not I would go over or under because it's like they're one of the biggest question marks really in the
Yeah.
league right now. What are we getting out of 38-year-old Ben?
Or anyone else on the team.
I think we know what we're getting out of Juju. I think you know what you're getting out of TJ Watt. I think you know what you're getting on defense, largely from the Steelers as a whole. Minka, you know what you're getting from Minka Fitzpatrick in the strong safety spot. Just what are we getting from Ben in that offense? And side bet while we're here, does Dwayne Haskins get a start this year? He made the roster. He's QB2.
Yeah, why not?
You think he gets at least
Why
one
not?
start? Over, under,
Even if
a
it's
half
at
a
the end of
start?
the year.
What about you? Over, under, half a star for Dwayne Haskins, Jack?
Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with over.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to start at
Just
least
give him
one
one.
game this year.
Even if it's
E-
week 17
Even if
or
it's
18.
week 17 or
like,
18, yeah, for sure. Next team.
San Francisco 49ers.
This one's tough, too. I'm going to say 10.5.
I like 10.5.
Both 10.5. Both of you on the dot.
Yeah, 10.5. I mean, I don't know. The San Francisco 49ers feel like they have a lot going on, but they just seem so kind of boring to me. I don't know if that
It's
makes
Jimmy
sense.
G.
He's just,
It's
yeah,
Jimmy G.
I guess it is. Like, there's just no, I don't know. There's no it factor.
It's that, and you know what also it is? It's not even Jimmy G. Let me take that back. Don't be disrespectful to Jimmy GQ. It's not even Jimmy G because he's been there 3 seasons now, right?
Mhm.
And he's played under 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
He had the torn ACL both times, right? Wasn't it a torn ACL both times that put him down?
It may have been.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 torn ACLs and the season in between. And when he started a full season for them, what did he do? He only took them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, did they lose? Yeah, but he took them to the Super Bowl. I think you're saying that they're boring because in his laps when he was not there, C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, boring game managers, and that's a team who now they have Trey Lance, whatever. That's a team that needs more solid backup play that could go get Cam Newton if they had the spot for him. But obviously now Trey Lance is waiting in the wings.
Also, with 2 promising young receivers like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk going into the sophomore year, things could start to be getting.
Deebo Samuel's going into his 3rd or 4th year.
3rd, 4th.
But I got you.
Brandon Ayuk's
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
year. Good looking receiver.
And you got the best tight end in football. And they lost all of those edge rushers last year. I'm going to go over. And here's the thing, too. Jimmy Garoppolo, it's either going to work out and he's going to start all year and they're going to win something,
Mm-hmm.
or there's money waiting for him when they cut him at the
Yeah.
end of the year. So no matter what, he's going to be playing. Like, no matter what, he's excited and he's got something to play for because his career's not over. There's going to be a big bag waiting for him somewhere else next season when he gets cut. And even if they don't, he's going to win a Super Bowl and then probably still get a bag to stay as the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he wins a Super Bowl, how are you going to rush him out the fucking door for Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Next.
Seattle Seahawks.
This is a team that wins the division every year. Almost every year, it feels like. Can't remember the last time they won a playoff game. They're going to get disrespected by Vegas. 7.5. No, 8.5.
I was going to say a 10.
We got 9.5.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild.
Even that feels low, right?
Yeah.
9.5, even that feels low. The Jets fan and me going under. Because we got their first round pick next year.
No, that's going to go over.
Nah,
That's
yeah,
easy.
they'll go over. Next.
Tennessee Titans.
Ooh. Hype's out on this team. Everyone's excited. I'm gonna say 11 for this one also.
11.
For the Titans? Yeah, I think the Titans are gonna be good. All right, 10.5.
10.5.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy. Probably 9.5.
9.5. All right. So they're not as confident
9.5.
as I am.
See, I don't know how I feel about them because I think the Julio thing is a little overhyped. Like now, he's going to be impactful when he plays.
Mhm.
What is he playing? 60% of the season?
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to find
8,
out.
9, 10 games. I don't think he's played more than 11 games in the last 5 years. Next team.
Got the nameless Washington football team.
I think
The Washington Fitzpatrick.
I think they should be close to the favorite to win the division. I'm gonna give them a 9.5.
I was gonna give them 7.
We got 8.5.
All right. So somewhere in the middle.
All right. So that's the total on win numbers, right? Now I need you to move over to odds to win
I
division.
think we got a couple more.
Oh, we do? We still have more? Keep going
We
then.
got plenty more. All right, Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens, another team I feel like Vegas is probably disrespecting a little bit this year based on their lukewarm season they had. Look, when Lamar isn't doing Lamar things on the ground, that offense is boring.
Yeah.
And I think boring kind of does factor in a little bit nowadays. I feel like it's probably going to be around 8.5.
Yeah, I'd say 9.
Got Baltimore 10.5.
10.5. Ooh.
I'd go under.
I would go under also.
With that rookie receiver they got, and then adding Sammy Watkins.
They didn't do enough. They got a bunch of 2s and 3s. They don't have a number 1.
All right, last team on the list, Las Vegas Raiders.
5. No,
No.
I take it back.
No,
All right,
really?
I took it back. All right, I'll go with 7, but I'm not going higher than 7. It's going to be 8.5, but I'm
9.5.
going with 7.
9.5.
Brian on the dot, so
7.
Wow, 7.
Yeah.
You got those.
Maybe I was being a little outlandish, but 7.
Get us odds to win the division now. You there?
working on it.
All righty.
Ben Simmons wants out of Philadelphia. He's not
Ben
happy.
Simmons said he's not
He's
playing.
not
for them.
doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him.
Nah, I mean, listen.
They're being
here's the thing.
disrespectful.
He's disrespectful to the game of basketball. He's disrespectful to himself. He's disrespectful to the entire city of Philadelphia. All right. When you're playing in a playoff series, all right, and you have fucking 7 shot attempts in the fourth quarter or overtime of a playoff series, you don't want to shoot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give anyone a max contract who doesn't want to shoot. Big Cat used this quote at the fight on Sunday night, and I'm going to use this quote again. The great Deion Waiters once said, I'd rather go 0 for 30 than go 0 for 9 because if you went 0 for 9, it meant you stopped shooting.
It's fair.
It means you lost confidence. And I can't be having a guy that's making $30 million of my money if I'm the owner. Who doesn't want to shoot the fucking ball? I bet you he's going to go somewhere he deserves, like Sacramento, because Sacramento can put together the De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and 1 million picks package. That looks very enticing to them. You got it?
Good.
Does it have it in division order or no?
It's split between NFC and AFC.
All right.
All right, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you just read me off the first 4 teams on the list?
Cowboys, Washington football team, Philadelphia Eagles, New York.
It is in division order. Those 4 teams are the NFC East. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to both guess who we think the favorite is, and then you're going to give us all the odds, the number. It should be plus something.
All good.
All right,
You got
so
it?
for NFC East. Oh, this
Guess
is
who
tough.
you think the favorite is.
I
and
think
then-
the favorite. I'm gonna say the Cowboys.
Jack, you're shaking your head yes when people get shit right, and I can see it. So
It's the Cowboys, ladies and
is it
gentlemen.
the Cowboys or no?
It is the Cowboys.
All right.
I wasn't shaking my head. Yes.
You were. So I guess it's the Cowboys. I disagree with that. So give me the odds. Give me the
I
odds on all
disagree
4 of
with
them.
that.
Cowboys plus 105.
All 4 teams. Give me the odds.
Washington football team plus 200. New York Giants plus 450. Philadelphia Eagles plus 475.
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
across the board. I think to me personally, it's a 2-team race between Washington and the Giants. I don't think Dallas hangs out. I don't think Dak plays long enough, rather, for them to
Don't
hang
say
around.
that.
Well, all right, dude.
I have
Sorry.
Zeke on my
I
fantasy
just,
team,
I
don't
just
say
don't know if Dak's going to hang out and play, especially for the money. If you're going to pick one, I mean, none of these guys are really worth it at plus 2 or 350.
Mhm.
But I think it's going to probably, if you're going to throw money on them at plus 250 or 200, Jack said, Washington football team, I like them a lot. They're going to beat people up on defense, and Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't throw a lot of games away.
Next up, NFC North.
Bengals, Steelers,
NFC North, Bears, Packers.
NFC North, Bears,
Vikings,
Packers, Vikings.
And, who else is there, Jack?
Lions.
Detroit.
Lions.
It should be the Packers.
It's gonna
Should
be
be
the
the
Packers,
favorite.
yeah.
Packers, both of you?
Yeah, it's gonna be
are
the Packers.
favorite at
Yeah.
minus 185. Minnesota Vikings plus 250. Chicago Bears plus 450. Detroit Lions plus 2,200.
Now,
Oh,
you
man.
don't bet on the Lions.
Don't even touch it.
I mean, if you're a Bears fan and you feel like being ballsy preseason plus 450 for the Bears ain't terrible, but I don't think it's enough. If you get me like plus 650, I might throw some money on it. I think the Packers are a lock. Don't bet on this at all because minus 185 for a futures bet is not worth it.
Yeah, no.
Think the Packers are a lock though. Next division.
NFC South.
It's Tampa, Atlanta,
Saints.
New Orleans, and
Carolina.
I mean, it's got to be Tampa.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's got to be Tampa's got to be the favorite, right?
Yeah.
Both staying with Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa's the favorite at minus 245. New Orleans Saints plus 325. Carolina Panthers plus 900. Atlanta Falcons plus 800.
I'm surprised they have the Saints, so.
That's a good number on the Saints.
That's interesting.
I like the Saints to win this division. I like them a little bit more than that. If you leave Jameis in there and you coach him up, and you get, it's like 1, 2, or 3 throws a game that he makes that he shouldn't because he can't, but he thinks he can make every throw.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Sean can get those 3 bad throws out of him, if you can just get him to understand the throws that he physically cannot make, he's a top 10 quarterback. The guy threw for 5,200 yards 2 years ago with 30 and 30. You get that 30 interceptions down to 22, and you still throw 30 touchdowns. This fucking team, and then you bring in Taysom Hill for change of pace shit, and but Jameis is the guy. Jameis is something that they have not had in New Orleans for the last 5 years with Drew Brees, with a surefire blue chip rocket laser for an arm. Drew Brees couldn't throw a football for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I would take them. I would take them. I might take them to win the division and then some. At plus 350, you said?
New Orleans Saints plus 325.
And the Bucks were what? Minus 2 something?
245.
Yeah, I'd take the Saints.
All right, we got the NFC West. Then we're gonna move over to the AFC.
Seattle, San Francisco,
Rams, Cardinals.
Arizona. Yeah.
I bet you San Fran's the favorite.
I was gonna say the Rams, honestly.
Dink.
Yeah.
Well, both of you are right. They're both tied at plus 165. Seattle Seahawks plus 250. Arizona plus 600.
Wow.
This has been the division just like last year. It could have 3 playoff teams coming out of it every year.
Yeah.
And almost every single one of those teams has a fair shot at it. It's hard to go against Russ, right?
Yeah.
It's so
Without a
hard
doubt.
to go against Russ. And then I don't think
And the Seahawks just in
I think
general.
Trey Lance is the least ready out of the 5 rookies that went in the first round this year. And I think if Jimmy goes down, you're in trouble.
Really? People seem to be very hyped up on Trey Lance.
He makes the big play, but can he make the hook?
Yeah.
Can he throw the 4-yard hook on 3rd and 2? That's what I need. I can't go against Seattle. I do like the Rams. They don't need to win the division though
True.
to have success. Just hard to beat Seattle at home. They could go 6-0 at home. Oh no, 3-0 at home in the division. Easy.
Yeah.
They could go 6-0 in the division too. But moving on.
Moving over to the AFC, we got the AFC East: Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
The Bills are
The
going to be the
Bills.
favorite.
Yeah.
It's not going to be worth putting any money on. They're probably -5, -4, something like that. If any of these teams are going to be worth taking a shot at, it's going to be the Pats. Let's hear those odds.
Bills at -170.
Wow, only -170? Yeah, fair enough.
Dolphins plus 325. Patriots plus 330. Jets plus 2,000.
I think it's absolutely disgraceful that the Patriots are below the Dolphins. I know it's only by about 5 points or so. So,
Yeah.
$5 on a bet. But I think that's disgraceful. I do think Buffalo is going to win the division. I'm more interested in the bets to make the playoffs than divisional bets. But if anything, you throw money on the Pats. I don't think, the Dolphins aren't winning the division.
Yeah.
Going down south, AFC South: Colts, Tennessee Titans, Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Titans. I mean,
I think the Titans should be the favorite, but I bet you it's going to be close with the Colts.
Titans are the favorite at -145. Colts are plus 130. Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 700, and the Texans plus 2,800.
Oh man.
Now, so I don't want to do this because we're going to be reliving. Right now, we're reliving a moment from season 1, episode 1, where it was just me and Alessino. We sat here and we looked at the NFC odds, and it was like plus 3,000 or more for the Washington football team to win the division. And we both laughed and said, "Don't fucking bet on Washington. You can, but you're not going to win anything. Don't do it. I guarantee you're not going to win any money." And who won that division last year? So you don't want to count anybody out, but Houston ain't it, Chief. If Davis Mills takes this team to a divisional championship, I'll retire from podcasting. How's that sound? With that being said, I think if Frank Reich, who was the last offensive coordinator that got anything good out of Carson Wentz, if Frank Reich can get half out of Carson Wentz out of what he got out of him that last good year in Philly, Colts should be able to win this thing. Titans good too. I think both very solid defenses. One team has Derrick Henry, one team does not.
Yeah.
But I think the Colts defense is a little bit stronger than the Titans defense, and I think Carson Wentz, when he's right, is better than Ryan Tannehill when he's right.
I don't know about that. But
look at the body of work.
They are very similar.
Look at their body of work, though. When you look at the body of work, Carson Wentz is just a little bit better. Because before Ryan Tannehill got Derrick Henry and a sick defense, that Ryan Tannehill was better.
I mean,
pre-Titans Ryan Tannehill was better than.
Well, he was on the Dolphins with Adam Gase.
They did make the playoffs one of those years.
Yeah.
I don't know. If anyone is gonna unseat the Titans, it's gonna be the Colts, because you get a halfway decent quarterback play with that defense and the weapons they have. They should be able to run away with the division.
All right, with our last division, we're going to swing it out west to the AFC West. We got the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Chiefs.
It's going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Chiefs
love to see the Chargers, but
Chiefs are going to be favorites.
Yeah.
I'd also love to see the Chargers. Give us the numbers.
Chiefs minus 325, Denver Broncos plus 525, and the Chargers also plus 525.
Wow.
And the
That's
Raiders
interesting.
At plus 1,500.
Wow, they really think the Broncos and the Chargers have the same odds to win the division?
What is going on?
That's pretty wild.
What is going on in Denver and in Vegas with Denver that we think that they're anywhere near as good as the Chargers are?
I don't know. That's wild to me.
Excuse me.
What's exciting about the Broncos?
I mean,
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton didn't play all year
throwing in the
last year because he had a neck injury.
Throwing the ball. No, he had a knee injury.
Knee
injury, I'm sorry.
Going to his sophomore season.
Yeah, I know.
But he's got Teddy
still.
Bridgewater throwing him the ball.
I
don't know. I don't know about
I would put one, if there was a division bet I would put money on here, it would be the Chargers.
All right,
Odds to win conference. Can you pull that up?
Now,
Odds to win the conference. Now we can get in. I mean, this is going to be probably pretty cut and dry. I imagine it's going to be Chiefs and Bills at the top of the AFC. And I imagine it's going to be Packers at Bucks, Saints at the top of the NFC.
More than likely.
Jack's getting us the numbers right now. I'm picturing the value is going to be with the Saints or possibly with like the Titans might have some value there. Which conference are you going to start
we're going
with?
to start with the AFC.
Were we right on the first two teams of the Chiefs and the Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the odds.
Plus 220 for the Chiefs, plus 485 for the Bills.
All of them.
All of them. Baltimore Ravens, plus 525.
No thanks.
Cleveland Browns, plus 650.
No thanks.
Colts, plus 1,500.
Nah.
No.
Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 1,800.
Nah.
Chargers, plus 1,500.
Now that's like maybe plus 1,500 might be intriguing to me for them to win the conference.
Miami
It's
Dolphins.
a confident. Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, plus 1,300. Patriots.
Like, see, this is where I have a problem, though. It's only like the Dolphins are more favorited to win the conference than the Chargers. What's going on? Keep going.
Patriots, plus 1,300.
Just the same odds for the Patriots. All right. Whatever. Keep going. Belichick versus Flores, and you give me the same odds?
Titans, plus 1,100. Raiders
Jeez.
plus 2,800. New York Jets plus 5,000.
Don't bet that.
Denver Broncos plus 1,000. Jacksonville Jaguars 5,000. Bengals 5,000. Texans 5,000.
I mean, you said the Bills were like plus 400,
Bills plus 45.
plus 450,
485.
485.
Yes.
I thought you said 45. Plus 485. I mean, that there's a little bit of value there to sprinkle on the Bills, and I think there's some value with the plus 1,500 on the Chargers. What do you think? Anyone else pop out to you there?
Besides that, no. I mean, it's pretty much, like you said, cut and dry. We pretty much knew.
We spent a lot of time on team wins, so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to burn through this real quick. Give me the NFC now.
Swinging over to the NFC. Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 275. Green Bay plus 525. Los Angeles Rams 525. San Francisco 49ers 525. New Orleans Saints plus 1,600.
That's the bet.
Yeah?
That's the
think
bet.
so?
Plus 1,600.
Jeez.
More than three times less likely than the Niners or the Packers or what was that other team at 525?
San
The Rams.
Francisco. Oh, Rams.
More than three times less likely? Yeah, I think that's the bet.
All right.
Keep going.
Seahawks plus 1,000. Cardinals plus 1,500. Cowboys plus 1,200.
Stop right there.
Cardinals
The
is
Cardinals
interesting.
have better odds
Yeah.
than the fucking Saints. Get the fuck out of here. And while we have Jack, stop plus 1,000 for the Seahawks. I like that too.
Yeah.
And then we got the Dallas Cowboys plus 1,200. Chicago Bears plus 2,300. Vikings 1,900. Carolina Panthers 2,900.
Jeez.
Washington Football Team plus 2,000.
And one. Oh, no, this is conference.
Atlanta Falcons plus 2,800. Philadelphia Eagles plus 3,000. Giants 3,200. Detroit Lions 5,000.
I think the Saints and the Seahawks are the two
Yeah.
value that you're not looking for a real reach, but you're still getting, good value.
What about your opinion on the Washington Football Team?
At plus 2 racks is what it was?
Yeah,
No.
No.
nothing.
No. Fitzpatrick's good enough to win the division, not enough to run the gamut on the playoffs.
Could you imagine?
No.
It would be
No.
intense.
Guess what? I had him on my team when it mattered. All right, he threw an interception on the final drive of the game that would have
You're
sent
right.
them to the playoffs. Odds to win Super Bowl, and then we're going to take a quick break. Now, I like the Rams before I even get the odds. I like the Rams here. I like the Saints here. I wouldn't bet on the Chiefs because I don't think the payout's going to be there, and I don't think the payout's going to be there for the Bills either.
I like the Titans, and you're selling me on the Saints. I don't know why, but
Dude, if Drew
I don't
Brees could
know.
throw a fucking football 9 yards in the air the last 3 seasons, they should have 2 more rings.
Chiefs are the favorite plus 450. Tampa Bay that's plus 600. Green Bay Packers plus 1,100. Bills plus 1,000. Rams plus 1,200. San Francisco 49ers plus 1,200. New Orleans Saints plus 2,700.
so that 2,700 intrigues you,
Yeah, I like that a lot.
and that's just to make Super Bowl.
To win the Super
Win
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
Win. Baltimore Ravens plus 1,400. Seattle Seahawks plus 2,450.
That's another good one.
Yeah, that
It's
one's good.
Russell fucking Wilson.
Yeah,
So far we like Seattle at plus 2,450, and we like New Orleans at plus 2,700.
Tennessee Titans plus 2,500. Colts.
I don't like it as much as I like the other two, though.
yeah.
They just seem destined to fall apart. The defense is not good. Their defense is not going to be good this year.
They're gonna have to throw out of all the games.
Yeah.
Colts plus 3,000. Browns plus 1,400. Dolphins plus 2,450. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 3,200. Chargers plus 3,300.
Let me stop you. You said Dolphins plus 2,450,
2,450.
which is the same odds as the Seahawks.
Correct.
What are we fucking
Wild.
doing here, dude? What is going on? Let me find my shot. What is going on? Russell fucking Wilson has the same odds to win a Super Bowl as Tua Tagovailoa and Brian Flores, second-year coach and quarterback, respectively?
As far
The
as
fuck
Vegas is
out of
concerned.
here. Continue, Jack.
Cowboys 2,800. Cardinals 4,000. Patriots 2,700.
4,000.
Vikings 4,000. Raiders 5,000. Eagles 5,000. Falcons 5,000. Bears 5,000.
All these teams
It's
are
just
going to
gonna
be
be 5,000.
All these teams are going to be 5,000.
Panthers 5,000.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Giants.
They're all going to be 5,000. Tell you right now, I made that bet already before, for the day after the Super Bowl ended last year. I made the bet on the Jets to win the Super Bowl at plus 5,000 because I thought they were getting Desean Watson. So that's a loss right off the bat.
You never know.
You never know, but whatever. It is what it is. I didn't hear anything. Go ahead.
Just with the Russell Wilson during last season, when they switched to have him throw more and move outside the pocket, first half of the season, great percentages over, I believe over around 38% on completions or something like that, a little higher. And after the second half of the season, after they hit their bye, teams started calling cover 3 on them, and their completion percentage dropped almost a little over 10%.
Yeah, because what happened is you could no longer just find DK Metcalf deep over the top when you have 3 guys draped over the middle. And as the season progressed, they couldn't run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson apparently was instrumental in hiring the new offensive coordinator. They got Brian Schottenheimer out of there, who's a fucking garbage play caller. He's been a garbage play caller since he coached with the Jets. Fucking 3rd and 12, giving handoffs up the middle to Leon Washington. Get the fuck out of here, Schottenheimer.
I think their scheme completely
So I think part of that decline is when you cannot run the ball in the National Football League unless your name is Aaron Rodgers and you have Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson on the team at the time, you're not going to get away without running the ball. Not going to happen. The teams are just going to get everyone out of the box, throw an extra safety or 2 over the middle. Or they'll do what Belichick did and they'll just bracket your 2 best players and then go one-on-one with everyone else and rush 2 guys. So you hope that changes. Russell Wilson's better than what we saw from him last year. DK is only going to get better. Tyler Lockett's only going to get better. And I think they made some small improvements to that offensive line. I like them at plus 2450. I think it's ridiculous that the fucking Dolphins have the same odds and then the Patriots have worse odds. The Patriots are plus 25. Ultimately, out of all of the numbers here that are calling my name, it's plus 2,700 for the Saints, I think.
Or this 2450 for the Seahawks.
Or plus 2450
Yeah.
for the Seahawks, yeah. But the Saints, I think I might actually put a bet in on that. What about you?
I'm still on the Seahawks. I think that
And on the
2450 is
Seahawks?
nice. Yeah, you're selling me on the Saints, but I'm not as sold.
All right. It's fair enough. I mean, Jameis hasn't played in over a year.
I think Jameis is going to be great regardless. I don't think they win the Super Bowl.
We're going to see. They're stacked with talent, man. We're going to see. We're going to take another quick break before we get into the individual awards. So we'll be right back. All right. A little bit of miscommunication there. We thought we were taking a break. We're not. This podcast went a little longer than expected. We're going to save the individual of the year awards, coach of the year, offensive rookie of the year, etc., for the week 1 show when we hopefully have Mr. Anthony Alessino back. And maybe we'll have Nick back. If not, Jack is going to be working with us as a junior producer as well going forward. So that's going to be that. Look out for the week 1 show. Should be coming to you Wednesday at midnight, the day before the opening game, which I believe is September 10th, correct?
I think it's the 9th. Whatever that Thursday is.
The 9th. Yeah, so that Wednesday, I believe it's the 8th or the 9th. Or so.
Yeah.
I think it's the 8th. That day will be the week 1 show. Look out for that. That's our show for today. We're brought to you by Sachi Di Dinero. We're brought to you by Tiger Pack Productions. And of course, as always, we're brought to you by House of Havoc Podcast Network. I'm James Hawkinjos. This is Brian Castiglione. And this has been Parlay-Vous.